All right, everybody, I'm back. I wasn't sure if I had set my video in live or if I had set my video or just in my regular feed or in the Savvy Luminary, and it was the Savvy Luminary. Let me just do 1 second here and make sure that everything is set up and being notified. So give me a minute. Oh, here it is. There we go. Well, anyway, hello. If you're here, please say hello. Hi, Asha. How are you? Happy new moon. We're still in the new moon phase. And I am so excited to be here today in celebration of Halloween. This past weekend has been like tons of family friendly events, and I wanted to wear my moon goddess tiara. I'm so glad that you're here, Asha. It's so wonderful to see you. I wanted to wear my new moon crown, so to invoke my moon goddess. Hello, Layla. So wonderful to see you here. I know Asha's watching from Toronto. Layla, where are you? Where are you visiting from? Anyway, I have a couple of screens going on here because I just want to make sure that sometimes my phone doesn't get all the notifications. Oh, thank you so much, Lily. You're very sweet. You're very sweet. So today I'm really excited to have you here for our new moon ceremony. New moon was actually yesterday at 4 degrees in Scorpio. And, you know, this is such an auspicious new moon because not only is it in the sign of Scorpio, which is already deeply transformational, like Scorpio can hold all of the deepest, darkest secrets and it has the power, the most power for transformation. And just on Thursday, in like just a few days, we're going to have the Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. So Mercury, our mindset, the way that we process information, the way that we learn things, the way that we speak things and write things, that is going to be going retrograde. So whatever intentions that we're setting under the new moon phase is going to have the power of mindset in order with the Mercury retrograde to help us implement those things. Layla from Arkansas and Marsha from Florida, I'm so glad for you guys to join me here. So what we're going to be talking about today is a little bit about setting our new moon intentions. And if you are so brave to share with me your new moon intentions, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be speaking it into, I've said if I can, well, I should have focused. Let me focus it like this. I've set up some ritual water right here. It is purple because I have put in some butterfly pea, PEA, butterfly pea powder with a little bit of lemon juice. If you don't know butterfly pea powder, it's this wonderful kind of tea. It's from like Southeast Asia. When you add it to water, it turns this beautiful blue color. And then when you add a splash of lemon, it turns it into purple. So I thought that it would be wonderful for our Scorpio water to be purple today. I have some Scorpio colored mums here to help us with this. Hello, Lauren from Mexico City. Already one of my new moon intentions to have more fun and to play has already manifested because Lauren and I are going to go see Lizzo tonight. We just got bequeathed some tickets, and who doesn't love Lizzo? I mean, like, come on. I wish I was Lizzo. No, I don't wish I was Lizzo. I wish to be myself, but there are some amazing things about her that I love so much. Hello, Lauren. So what I'll be doing, if you're so brave enough to share your intentions with me, I'm going to be speaking those intentions into this water. And then later on tonight, what I'm going to be doing with this water, and I'm going to cue you guys how to do this for yourselves later, so I'll go over those instructions again, is to embody these really deep desires that we want to embody them. And the best way to embody them in a ritual is a ritual that I'll tell you more about later, is when you sleep with this water, like near your bed, you know, your nightstand or something, and in the morning, you're going to first drink it, right? So if you don't make it all the way to the end, later on with your new moon intention, what I want you to do is you're going to speak your intention into the water and then you're going to drink it. But I am skipping ahead. Yes, so Scorpio new moon, right? Scorpio season is intense. It is like, and it's deeply transformational. Scorpio, rules all kinds of things like power, money, sex, not so much of the I would say sex in the more like power way, not just for play and relaxation and pleasure. That would be more like second house and fifth house, like that kind of creative play. Oh, great. But with Scorpio, sex in terms of power, sex in terms of uniting two powers and balancing that power, right? So oftentimes when talking about power, we know that with power, oftentimes we disempower ourselves when we either give our power away or our power is taken from us. And it does matter oftentimes if you are the perpetrator or not the perpetrator. The idea is that spiritually there is some kind of balance that needs to be taken, right? So when we're talking about Scorpio in our business and when we're talking about Scorpio in our brands, I'm looking at it from a place of deep trust in our own power, right? Because we're not talking about just like personal astrology here, we're talking about brand astrology. We all need to live our power in order to show up as the luminary, whatever luminary means for you that you need to be. Hello, Carol. Nice to see you. So Scorpio, earlier I listed kind of some shortcuts on the houses of where the Scorpio new moon fell in your chart, right? So Scorpio new moon yesterday was at 4 degrees in Scorpio. Oh, good. Some people are writing down their intentions already for me. So let me get those. So Marcia says that their new moon intentions are taking more time for myself. And Marcia, I would be interested to know for your new moon intentions and taking more time for yourself, what would be the result of taking more time for yourself? What do you hope to accomplish by taking more time for yourself? And what will you be doing during your more time for yourself? Let's get these really specific. All right. Layla says new moon intentions of embodying self-confidence and allowing myself to truly be seen. Yes. Embodying self-confidence and allowing self to be seen. So one of the things that Scorpio is all about, right? We were talking about power a little bit, but on the flip side of power is shame, right? Oftentimes when we're dealing with power issues, we're also dealing with shame. Either we can't talk about what we really desire, we feel guilty a little bit about it, or maybe it's too vulnerable to share with others. Asha says, new moon intention, calling in 111 more women into my membership. Yes, to grow your platform and your community. I love it. I love this. Great. So the reason why Scorpio is all about power and this idea, the back end of it, idea about shame, is that we need to bring those shames to light. Like no matter how vulnerable we feel around them, how fearful we feel about them, because oftentimes this place that we're holding onto of shame is actually holding us back from stepping into our true power. So I'm going to share something really vulnerable with you guys if you don't mind, and then let me take Marcia. I'll come back to your guys' intentions. So my intention for this new moon, because for me, I'm a Gemini rising, and my new moon happened, Scorpio at 4 degrees, was in my 5th house of creativity and play. So on the outside, you guys might be thinking, well, yeah, Leslie, you're super creative. You love to have fun and play. And that internally for me is so not the case, right? So yes, I have this wonderful creative business. And yes, I'm a professional musician. I'm also a classical musician. So this idea of creativity that was ingrained in me from when I was a very little girl, especially even with my mom. I know she did not mean this, but I remember singing at the top of my lungs one day day in the car and just like totally in the bliss of like a 5-year-old child, singing and singing and singing. And my mom said, "Oh my gosh, Leslie, that is so off key." And I seriously have never sung after that. Like, not for fun. Like, for me, like singing and having this idea of creativity and not doing it right brings me this great source of shame. So when I think about creativity in just my personal life around being a musician, even though I'm a professional musician, I would never improvise. Being a professional musician, I would only rely on other teachers and mentors to tell me exactly how to do things instead of making things up for myself. And dancing, no way. I can't dance unless somebody tells me what to do, unless there's like exact steps that need to be done. I am so shameful. I am not comfortable in my body. And even though I want to be seen, right? Like I'm teaching and I'm here online and that is my intention of growing my brand, I hold a lot of shame in it. So for this intention today for me, what I wanted to explain here is I want you to see this idea of shame and your deepest desires and your deepest places of darkness, and how to set your intentions to balance that. Because when we bring up the deepest depths, Scorpio is allowing us to bring up the deepest depths and work through those things, right? So my intention for today is to open up my creativity so that I can feel confident and loving in my body. And how this is going to manifest for me is like, hopefully I will show up more confidently and not be so paralyzed by shame. So Marsha says, more time to relax and listen to my needs, both physically and emotionally. Yes. And Lauren says, my intentions, moving with trust into my power. Yes. Speaking with my truth to Gray Center Foundation for the Arts, to collaborate with them, to work with them, to create stability for my project, Aesthetic Anatomy in the Bay Area, to partner with the most interesting thinkers and researchers, and to create the opportunity to share my research and art and build. Oh my gosh, I love this. And Lauren, yeah, I wanted to share this vulnerability of mine because I know we all have it and it's super, super scary to share those things. But I want to bring it out because I'm done. I'm done holding on to that shame. And yes, with Lauren, we're spending an entire day together. We're doing a special ceremony, personal resonance session. She's a master hair sculptor and artist, and she's going to be cutting off some of my ends that I no longer need. So, oh my gosh. So thank you everybody for sharing your intentions. These are so wonderful. So Lauren had a really good word with this idea of trust into your own power. Scorpio is about trusting yourself, right? The more you can trust yourself, the more power that you can hold and embody yourself. And I think that's a really hard thing for us to learn, in that trusting ourselves, especially in the social media age, right? We're scrolling and saying, oh, they're awesome. What are they doing? Trying to look at and not necessarily copying, but comparing and, always chasing that next thing because we don't trust what we ultimately need for ourselves. If one thing that I could teach today is that we all have the ability to trust in ourselves, right? And that's what I hope that this intention today will help you do, is to trust in yourself. Okay. So my question to you, I know that a lot of you have already shared your intentions, but my big question today is, and it pulls in that trust, what do you need to trust and create in your life to feel more powerful, right? I mentioned that I need to trust and create in my own body to embody my creativity so that I can show up more powerful, right? So I'm going to say that again. If anybody wants to kind of change change or modify their intentions, please let me know. What do you need to trust and create in your life to feel more powerful? Marsha says, love you ladies. Fantastic. So I know people have already shared their intentions. So if there are any more intentions to share, I'm just going to go ahead and speak them all into the water again right now, since we have everybody's intentions right here. Boop, boop, boop. Let me make sure I get all of these comments here. Comments. I think I lost Lauren. Hold on one second. Thank you for your patience. Here we go. And Marsha. All right. So here we go. So these are all the intentions from all of the wonderful people in this community sharing vulnerably their intentions during this new moon. May you take these intentions and empower them with trust and belief so that we can do the work confidently and live our life to the fullest, right? So here are some intentions. Taking more time for myself, embodying self-confidence, calling in more women to build my platform, moving with trust into my power, more time to relax and listen to my needs, both physically and emotionally. And all the other intentions that I speak today, please flow into this water. And as I drink them in the following morning, please help me be the catalyst to empower everybody else's intentions. So anyway, there's just the intentions in the water for us. So again, if you are going to be doing this on your own, I would love it if you could speak your intentions to the into a glass of water before you go to sleep tonight. Put this water by your bedside, and in the morning, right after you wake up, first thing, drink this water and kind of feel the water nourishing you and embodying you and filling you with trust and power, right? This is a ceremony that I learned from one of my spiritual guides. He was kind of a high priest in a West African tradition. Oh God, if I'm dirt, oh gosh, I can't remember. I need to write these things down. But if anybody's interested, I can find out more and just like DM me and I'll send you more information about that particular ritual. So what I wanted to do now, if you're still here, is I wanted to talk about Mercury retrograde. All right. Mercury retrograde is actually not to be fretted, all right? Mercury retrograde is a pretty amazing time. It allows us to redo things, essentially. And because Mercury will be going retrograde this season in Scorpio, okay? Mercury goes retrograde 3 times a year. So basically, our perspective from this place on Earth, it looks like Mercury is going backwards in the sky. And because Mercury moves so quickly, it looks like it goes backwards 3 times a year. Now, Mercury is what we call a personal planet because it's close. It's in between the Earth and the Sun. And Mercury represents archetypally represents our mindset, right? It's the way that we receive information. It's the way that we have information output. So thinking, learning, speaking, writing, processing, all of those things have to do with Mercury. And so Mercury also rules technology. So you can even think about Mercury as like your device to to speaking with and through your soul, right? Mercury is a device. Mercury is very neutral. And so when we feel Mercury retrograde, it's because it's a personal planet. And if you are particularly having a Mercury will be felt by those people who have either any planets in Scorpio, Gemini, or Virgo between 11 degrees and 27 degrees. Okay, so I'll say that again. If you look at your natal chart and look at if you have any planets or luminaries between 11 and 27 degrees in the signs of Scorpio, Gemini, and Virgo. Scorpio, because that's where Mercury will be making its retrograde. And then in Gemini and Virgo, because Mercury is the ruler of both of those signs, right? So if you have any planets in there, you're going to really feel this Mercury retrograde quite profoundly, okay? Mercury, because it's going through a water sign and the deepest of the water signs, again, Scorpio, talking about that taboos, talking about deep transformations. You know, Scorpios make amazing therapists. Scorpios make not just like regular therapists, but like psychotherapists, people that have Scorpio really strong in their brands. You know, they can be talking about love and money and sex and all of those things that we hold, again, a lot of shame around, right? And so if you have any planets in Scorpio, Gemini, or Virgo, 11 degrees to 27 degrees. Look at those planets to give you more insight as to what your learning is supposed to be about this Mercury retrograde. I'm going to be doing a whole another video on just Mercury retrograde, probably tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm not sure yet. And I'll be posting a lot of information about it in the next coming days because I want you to be fully prepared in using this Mercury retrograde energy, right? If you're prepared to use it, it's not going to feel like, oh my gosh, Mercury retrograde is happening to me. My travel is late. My computer broke down. You know, all those typical Mercury retrograde things, all those miscommunications that can happen. But because we're dealing with these deep emotional transformations and the intentions that you want to set for today, to use the next 3 weeks during Mercury retrograde to continue doing the work, right? We can set an intention, but the universe is not really going to be like, oh, does Leslie really want this? Because she doesn't seem to be doing anything that supports her wanting to do these things, right? So for example, if you want to continue the work of your intention, show the universe by doing supportive work that's going to allow you to receive those intentions, right? So during this Mercury retrograde, what you'll want to be thinking about is how will you realign to your own inner truth, okay? Truth with a capital T, right? How will you rebuild your trust? Again, trust is coming back, right? Rebuilding your trust. Where in your life have you lost trust, right? Where can you bring back more trust? You can recognize, again, recognize your shame, right? Is your shame still working for you or is it holding you back? You can reinforce your boundaries, right? Boundaries is all about power, right? And boundaries is not about keeping people away, but it's keeping people, it's educating people on what's okay with you and what's acceptable. And then reiterating your truth, right? So you've done the work about rebuilding your, realigning to your truth, but then to keep on saying it to you and to your loved ones and to the people that you work with, the people that you're committed to reiterate your truth so everybody knows where you're standing from, right? This is like the ultimate form of communication. We cannot assume that just because we've said it once that the right people have heard, or even, I can tell my husband things over and over and over again. And sometimes it'll take, years for him to be like, oh, this is the first time you're telling me this. I'm like, no, honey. The other thing I want you guys to think about during this Mercury retrograde is how to redefine your possibilities, right? The whole reason why I started the Savvy Luminary is that I wanted women entrepreneurs to redefine their possibilities, to see that it was possible for them to live a life totally empowered in their own expertise and leadership, whatever leadership looks like for you, right? Leadership shows up in so many different ways, but ultimately, if we are to be a business owner, we have to show up as a leader, right? So again, Mercury retrograde things to do with your intention: realign, rebuild, recognize, reinforce, reiterate, and redefine. I'll have all those things in social media posts coming up. So, you can work on that together. So the whole idea with this Mercury retrograde and your intention, right? Combining those two powers together is so that you can trust that you are worthy, right? Because we can intend, I've said this before, we can intend all these wonderful things, but if we haven't done the deep inner work to realign and to rebuild things in our lives, we're never going to be able to receive. Like, I've seen this happen over and over and over again. Like, even women who we think that are successful, who are making, what other women would like love to make, like in terms of success or followers or money, and come down to it, they still don't feel successful. And I know we all suffer from this, but that is like a real thing. And so I want us to all come back to this place of rebuilding trust, because it's not like you fix it once and it's gone forever. We all know that these problems come back and cycle through. And so this is just a perfect time to revisit. And that's why astrology is so amazing, because all of the new moons, you can set an intention, 12 intentions, sometimes 13 intentions a year, and it cycles through all of the areas of your life. So you get to revisit them to make sure that you're still in alignment, right? Just like with your car, even if you get your tires aligned once, like if you're driving a lot, you're going to have to realign them every once in a while. Otherwise, you're going to wear out your tires and then spend more money, right? So I've been talking a lot here. Does anybody have any questions for me or any comments that you wanted to add? I'm super excited. New moons are my absolute favorite. And let me just make sure I have everything on my list. I'm going to also be sharing this video on YouTube and IGTV. I'm going to be removing the names in the comments from here, and I only mentioned first names. If you would wish to me not to share your information and your intentions when I post these up to YouTube, because I'll edit them, just let me know, and I'll make sure to keep it very private. I want to honor everybody's privacy, because these are vulnerable things. These can be private things. Okay, let's see. Well, I think that's all I have for everybody, if that's all we have. Any comments coming through? All right. Well, I hope you have an amazing rest of the new moon phase. You have about another 24 hours or so while the moon is still in its kind of dark phase to, set those intentions, plant those seeds, right? I know I didn't really talk about the new moon itself and the phases. I think I talk about it a lot. If you have more questions about that, just let me know and I'm happy to explain it further. Oh, Layla says, will the Mercury retrograde have any effect on natal Mercury placements, or only affect the 3 signs you mentioned? It shouldn't have any effect on your natal Mercury unless that there's an aspect between the retrograding, the transiting Mercury and your natal Mercury. Layla, do you happen to know where your Mercury is? They might have a square, or it might have a trine, but usually because Mercury moves so quickly, those transits are fleeting. So if you have any like kind of Mercury transits, then you're going to feel them for like maybe a day. The retrograding Mercury could also have transits to some of your other natal planets. I'm happy, if you're interested in doing an astrobrand reading, we can definitely focus on Mercury retrograde. I would love to read your chart and see what else is in store for you with the Mercury retrograde. Oh my gosh, you're so welcome, Marcia. So Layla, you said yes, 23 degrees Libra in the 12th house. So with just in general, the 20s, the 11 to 27, it's going to be having kind of a trining effect to the Gemini, to Gemini. Libra and Gemini are both air signs, so they're trined. So if anything, that transit is going to be kind of auspicious. Like that's like a nice and easy flow kind of transit. And Libra in your 12th house, it's going to give your Mercury kind of spiritual effect because it's in the 12th house, but Libra is also going to be like your spiritual relationship to others. So just from my understanding of what you said, that's kind of what I would be looking at if you want to kind of further some intentions for Mercury retrograde. You're very, very welcome. Well, anybody else have questions? I love talking about astrology, and I have an hour here with you, so I don't mean to like close it early if there's more questions. Let's see. I can see if I have any more notes here. All right. Well, I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful new moon phase. And again, I'm gonna be going to Lizzo with Lauren tonight. It's really incredible how the timing worked out. Had no idea how that was gonna be. And I did my own personal ritual last night. I took a nice bath or a swim in a calm, deep lake. Anything to do with water is really going to help your ritual. So remember to get your glasses of, I have my purple glass here of a purple PEA blue butterfly pea flower powder. Actually, I want to show you this. That's what it is, and with a little bit of lemon to turn it purple. But I will be putting more intentions into this cup as the day goes, as more people give me intentions, and I will drink it for us tomorrow. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful, beautiful day.